Hi there, my name is Anne-Marie Olafua and I'm the Programme Manager from an organisation called Learning Alive. We specialise in supplementary education. That means that we make the most of all the potential for learning that happens after school and on Saturday morning. We have various projects, Saturday school programmes and after school programmes. The most significant one, and the one that I was working with, the RETRAIN, is the English Access Micro Scholarship Programme, and that is sponsored by the United States Department of State and the US Mission to South Africa. And our brief is to take bright but disadvantaged teenagers and put them through 2 years of English and personal development. And what we do at Learning Alive is that we're very concerned that the learners should take the lead in what they're being taught. So it's truly a learner-centred experience that we try to deliver in our programmes. And what excited me about the RETRAIN programme is the ability to help the learners define themselves in terms of their values, in terms of their hopes and dreams and goals, and in terms of their strengths. And what I found very interesting is that it was focused, it was structured, and it was fun for the learners. So it was the complete package. So the learners actually went through the process of the questionnaire. It used technology to help them actually answer the questions because it was online, which they also enjoyed. And the results were that I got a very good profile of each one of my learners that the teachers can use to structure the classes, and that the learners can use really pretty much to structure their lives, because they're in grade 9, they're choosing their options for next year, and the programme, the process helped them decide what would be best for them in terms of their goals and in terms of their future choices later on in school and further education. The next exciting aspect of the RETRAIN programme for me was being able to actually assess myself. Because obviously if you want to do a good job in the classroom, it's not just enough to understand the learners. As a teacher, you need to understand who you are, because all the interactions that you have come from you. So what myself and my assistant manager did was that we actually did the online assessment ourselves so that we could have the profile generated the same way that the learners did. And obviously, as trained teachers, we know about things like kinesthetic learning and tactile learning and visual learning and so forth. But also the process helps us to understand ourselves in terms of how organised we are, how imaginative we are, how people-centred we are, how inventive we are. So the online assessment generated a pretty detailed reading of me. When we engaged the learners in the process that RETRAIN offers, we were fortunate enough for this to happen at the school in Midrand that had interactive whiteboards, and the learners all had tablets. So that helped the process in the sense that they had the technology that they needed to do the assessment. The process itself takes place over a number of days, because obviously the assessment takes place and then the latter half involves feedback for the learners of their individual results. And the particular day that it happened, the facilitator was brilliant, because not only did she have to deliver the results, but we also had visitors from our funders, so there was a sort of extra kind of pressure to perform, and she rose to the occasion beautifully in various ways. Firstly, the classroom was presented impeccably. It was exciting. They had objects and you know, things on the wall and the tables around the room, and each table was focused on a different sort of personality element, so that the learners were able to circulate and visit the table and see sort of like an object representation of themselves, and it just looked beautiful. So it was just appealing and engaging and stimulating and bright and colourful. She managed to completely transform the classroom. It was extraordinary. So it was special for the learners as well as sort of valuable in what they were doing. And also it wasn't just, I think what's important to say is it wasn't just for decoration, it wasn't just for making it exciting to look at. It had a very careful purpose that linked into the findings that the learners had from their assessments, so that when they looked at the displays, it could really engage with them, for them to be able to say, okay, yes, this is me now, this makes sense. So it was extraordinary. The second element was when we ourselves as members of staff had our feedback session, and that was it took place in our offices. And the reason that was very eye-opening for me was because I started to understand the depth of the assessment findings and the potential for its application, because the facilitators sat with us and went through the manual. Each one of us was given a comprehensive, a very, very amazingly comprehensive folder with findings and materials and informations, and the facilitator went through that with us, and then I was starting to understand that this thing runs amazingly deep, and I started to realise the potential that it had to transform the education process and us as teachers. So the next step for us is that we fully intend to have a full workshop, because what we got was a taster session that kind of gave us an overview of what was to come. So the next step is that we're going to have a full workshop, myself and other members of staff, where we can really delve into the process that's offered by RETRAIN, and make absolute maximum use of the potential for it to help us change and improve what we're doing.